Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of year again. It's time for the holiday fill o' doom. It's gonna sound like this. I'm gonna teach you that fill. It only includes 2 patterns and it's gonna be a great opportunity to explore orchestration. Let's get into it. So, if you take a look at this fill, you'll see we've got 2 measures, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E, a 1 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a boom. 2 patterns. The first measure uses just this pattern, which we're going to talk about in a sec, and the second measure uses just this pattern. One of my favorite patterns. This is an awesome chop pattern to get in your arsenal. The first pattern we're looking at here, before we look at this sort of complicated looking notation down here, let's just zoom in, literally, on what this chunk is here. So I've been doing this a lot in my own playing. I just love this, so I wanted to incorporate it here. Basically, if you think about 6 16th notes, 1 E, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What I'm doing is I'm injecting this 16th note triplet in the beginning of it that's kick, right, left, and they're ghost notes on the hands. So you have the 16th note triplet, and then you just play 4 16th notes. That's the pattern we're going to use a few times here. It might be worth taking a minute just to kind of get familiar with what this feels like, because you're starting with the kick drum. Side note, I can't help myself, a really great little melodic strategy you can use here to get more juice out of this is to play 16th notes and pop this little triplet in for any right hand. Right, left, right, left, right, left, kick, right, left, kick, right, left, right, left. Then you can start to play melodies. And when you mess around with what the accents are they the ghost notes and then it's all accents? Or is it just the first note afterward? That's just this little tidbit. I digress. Let's get back to the pattern. As we can see, we do this fun little pattern 3 times. 1, 2, 3, and it gets cut off because there's only 4 notes at the end. So the first half of this looks like this. We could practice repeating that. 3 and a 4 and a. Side note, I'm only about 95% sure that I've notated this correctly. If anyone thinks that this line should connect all the way across, I don't think it should, but I'd be interested to hear why. So that's measure 1. That's the whole deal. If we slide over to measure 2, we get this group of 5. You can see it at the top. If I play just that group of 5, repeating 3 and a 4 and a. Just one of the coolest sounding patterns once you get it up to speed. And all we're doing here, so in the first measure we start with a kick drum. And I really want to start with a kick drum, have this continuity for the second measure. So what we're doing is we're starting with the second note of the pattern. Instead of the flam, we start with the kick. See, I've drawn little arrows. You can see where the kick lands here. Then from there, we have just the pattern repeating. Kick, right, left, kick. Flam, kick, right, left, kick. Flam, kick, right, left, kick. And then we tack on a nice little right, left at the end for a powerful outro there. So this sounds like this. If I just play just the first 4 notes. Let's do one group of 5 at a time. But the first group of 5 is only 4 because we've cut out the first flam. It sounds like this. 3 and a 4 and a. Let's add the second group of 5. 3 and a 4 and a. Let's add the next group of 5. 3 and a 4 and a... Two big right lefts at the end. So if I loop this measure 8 times, here's what it sounds like. 3 and a 4 and a... Now, dynamics, I'm adding some specific dynamics, but they repeat. They're built into the group of 5, so they're the same every time. The flam is an accent. Always look out for the flam accent. Also, a good indicator, just like a marker as you're working through this, the flam is surrounded by kicks. Boom, always. That's nice to keep in mind. And then the only thing you have left is the right-left. And for that, I'm ghosting the right and accenting the left. So... I wasn't doing that when I just demonstrated now, but now that we've got the pattern down, this will bring out a nice 5 melody within this. So it'll sound like this now. 3 and a 4 and a... Gat, gat, boom, gat, gat, boom, gat, 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 boom, gat, gat, boom, gat, gat, boom, gat, gat, gat. It's a nice melody. So that's measure 2. Let's try to pull this all together, the 2 measures now, before we even start thinking about orchestration. Here we go. Killing. Let's look at the first half of this measure and start thinking about orchestration. I mean, lowest hanging fruit here, move the whole pattern somewhere new. Right, just to clarify, we've got these 3 chunks here. 1, 2, 3. Just put each one on a different drum. What I'm gonna do right now, what I think I'm drawn to, this is snare, floor tom, tom 1. So we're gonna go ga boom boom, right? Because it feels a little too final to go boom. It feels like the fill should end, but we have a long fill. We're only halfway through, so I'm kind of. It's kind of like, think of intonation when you're speaking. If I'm telling you something and I know I'm not actually done with the sentence right now, I'll leave it up there. You know what I mean? Instead of coming back down, so when I'm ready to finish the sentence, I'm going to conclude it on a low note, right? It's kind of the same idea. So we're working up the toms, which sounds like this. Then let's look at our group of 5. There's a lot of cool stuff we can do here. I got it. We're going to stay up on the high tom so that we create this orchestration continuity. We're changing patterns all of a sudden, but if we keep the orchestration arc going that we already have, low to high, stay on the high, work low, then it sort of blurs the fact that we're making this pattern change. It smooths it over. So we're gonna, this first group of 5, boom, boom, ga, boom, stay on the high tom, boom, boom, ga, boom. For the flam, it's no longer flam, it's a unison, floor tom, and hi-hat. So the first 5 notes here are then I say snare drums all the way through to the end. It gives us this power. So think about the arc of the orchestration here. We start with big snare. Boom. We go snare, we go here, we go up, we stay up, the pattern changes, we come back down, we get back to the snare because the snare is the highest energy thing. So we come out blazing, we explore, we finish blazing. It sounds like this. Yeah, I messed up the orchestration the second time, but you get the idea. It's super hype. So, I feel really good about this fill. I feel like this is a good holiday fill of doom. And let's just think for a second other orchestration ideas. The beautiful thing about the second half of this measure is you can kind of move your hands anywhere and everywhere, and it pretty much all works, which is kind of fun. So you're doing this once the pattern's down. Literally random hand movements. You can choose one hand at a time. Left hand. Please don't do that last one. That makes no sense. Both hands at the same time. Here's a nice little hack. When you're doing the kick right left part of the pattern, go left foot instead of the kick, and then play the hi-hat with the right hand. Flam left, ha, flam ha right left. You can start with that. Same pattern, just subbing out a kick for the left foot. Obviously, we've seen with the flams, you can separate them, play them together. That's all gonna be sick. Now, last note on the beginning part, one thing I find myself doing that I really like is on the second kick drum, 3 and a 4 and a. I wanna open the hi-hat with a little kick. Would make it super sick if you then close the hi-hat on the left foot replacement that I just talked about. All right, gang, that's the holiday fill of doom for 2024. I hope we've had a great year. I hope you're taking a little time during the holidays to rest, spend some time with loved ones. Thank you so much for your time and attention in this video and this year. Happy practicing. I'm gonna mess around with this lick a little bit more and play you out. Happy New Year.